Hello and welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. Let's dive right into it. The first animal on the list we're starting off with is the Mexican wolf, also known as the lobo. It is a subspecies of gray wolf that was once native to all around the Southwest, including Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico. It is the smallest of the North America's gray wolves and is distinguished by its smaller, narrower skull and darker pelt, which is a yellowish gray and heavily clouded with black all over its back and tail. Its ancestors were likely the first gray wolves to enter North America after the extinction of the Beringian wolf up in Alaska, Russia. There's that land bridge called there's that strait called the Bering Strait, and there used to be a land bridge called the Bering Land Bridge, hence the name Beringia. This is indicated by its southern range and basal physical and genetic characteristics. Uh, though once held in high regard in pre-Columbian Mexico, it is the most endangered gray wolf in North America currently, having been all but obliterated in the wild during the mid-1900s through a combination of hunting, trapping, poisoning, and people digging up the pups from the dens to sell them as pets. After being listed under the Endangered Species Act in 1976, the United States and Mexico collaborated to capture all the remaining lobos in the wild. This extreme measure prevented the lobo's extinction. 5 wild Mexican wolves, 4 males and 1 pregnant female, were captured alive in Mexico between 1977 to 1980 and used to start the captive breeding program. From this program, captive bred Mexican wolves were released into recovery areas in Arizona and New Mexico beginning in 1998 in order to assist in the animals' recolonization of their former historical range. As of 2020, there are about 150 Mexican wolves living in the wild and about 250 living in captivity. Up next is the capybara, which is the world's largest rodent. It's native to South America and is also called the capivara, the shugero, the carpincho, and the roscosco. It's close relatives to guinea pigs, rock cavies. And like the guinea pig, it is a highly sociable species. It can be found in groups as large as 100 individuals, but they're usually found in groups around 10 to 20. Capybara are also known to be remarkably friendly to nearly every animal they come across, existing in relative harmony and pseudo-symbiosis with everything from mammals such as monkeys and fellow rodents to waterfowl like ducks and geese, parrots, and even reptiles like turtles and, oddly enough, dwarf caimans. However, the capybara do have several predators, notably jaguars and green anacondas. The Gila Monster is a species of venomous lizard native to the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexican state of Sonora. It's a heavy, typically slow-moving lizard that reaches up to 2 feet long. Gila Monster is the only venomous lizard native to the United States, although its close relatives, the Mexican beaded lizards, inhabit Mexico and Guatemala, respectively. The Gila Monster, even though the Gila Monster is venomous, its sluggish nature means it represents little threat to humans and instead prefers to eat eggs, insects, small, typically burrowing animals such as its fellow reptiles and ground squirrels. It also notably scavenges carrion. It can be seen competing with vultures over a carcass. The Gila Monster lacks the strong musculature and venom glands above its eyes in order to quickly inject the toxins into its prey like a snake would. Instead, the venom is propelled from the gland along the grooves of its teeth and then it's chewed into the victim, causing partial paralysis and weakness associated with a rapid drop in blood pressure. Gila Monster venom is generally regarded as the most painful venom produced by any vertebrate, although it is never fatal. In fact, it even shows promising success in treating cancer in humans. However, because of its fearsome look, because of the fearsome look of the creature and the pain its toxins can cause, it has acquired a fearsome reputation and is often killed despite being protected by the state of Arizona. The hoatzin, also known as the reptile bird, the skunk bird, the stink bird, and the Kanye peasant, is a species of tropical bird found in swamps, riparian forests, mangroves of the Amazon and Orinoco basins in South America. It is notable for having chicks that have claws on the two of their wing digits, much like non-avian theropod dinosaurs. Chicks will use this to climb up the trunks and the branches around their nest. Toadson is a herbivore, eating leaves and fruit. It has an unusual digestive system, especially for a bird, with an enlarged crop used for fermentation of vegetable matter, in a manner broadly analogous to the digestive system of mammalian ruminants like cattle. The alternative name of stinkbird is derived from the bird's foul odor, which is caused by the fermentation of the food in its digestive system. It is a noisy species with a variety of hoarse calls, including groans, croaks, hisses, and grunts. These calls are often associated with body movements such as wing spreading. With its bizarre shape, striking colors, unawareness, and poor flight, it is possibly one of, if not the weirdest avian alive today. This strangeness was just further cemented in 2015 by a genetic study that indicated the hoatzin is the last living member of a bird line that branched off in its own direction from the rest of avians around 64 million years ago, or right around the KT mass extinction event, the event that killed the non-avian dinosaurs. Up next is coyotes. Coyotes, not to be confused with coyotes. Coyotes, are also known as Coyotemundis, are members of the family Procyon and the genera Nasua and Nusulae. They are diurnal mammals, native to South America, Central America, Mexico, and even the southwestern United States. Coyotes are about a foot tall at the shoulder and weigh between 4 and 17 pounds depending on its species. Comparable to the size of a house cat. Males can be almost twice as large as females and have large, sharp canine teeth. Coyotes often hold their distinct, long, non-prehensile tails erect, a display that is used as such to keep troops of coyotes together in tall vegetation. Coyotes are opportunistic omnivores with strong limbs to climb and dig and have a reputation for intelligence, like their relatives the raccoon. However, as well as their relatives the raccoon, they prefer to sleep and rest in elevated places and niches, such as the rainforest canopy. They often make crudely built sleeping nests, sort of like primates. However, unlike raccoons, which are typically solitary, coyotes travel in their territories in noisy, loosely organized bands made up of from 4 to 25 individuals, foraging with their offspring on the ground or in the forest canopy. The peacock bass is a genus of large cichlids, diurnal and predatory freshwater fish native to the Amazon and Orinoco basins, as well as the rivers of the Llanos, and all throughout South America. As it is both commonly raised as a food and sport fish, it has been introduced to Florida, Texas, Mexico, Southeast Asia, and even Australia. Despite the common name and their superficial similarity, they are not closely related to the fish group known as bass. The largest species of this genus, the speckled peacock bass, reaches about 30 pounds in weight and can be over 3 feet in length, possibly making it the largest species of cichlid, although this might be tied with the African giant cichlid, which vies for around the same weight. And our extinct organism of the week is Therizinosaurus. As a genus of very large Therizinosaura, dinosaurs that lived in Asia during the late Cretaceous period of what is now the Nemic Formation, around 70 million years ago. The First remains Therizinosaurus were found in 1948 by a Mongolian field expedition in the Gobi Desert. Fossils of this species were first described by Evgeny Mendeleev in 1954, originally thought to belong to a turtle-like reptile. The genus as a whole is only known from a few bones, including its gigantic hand claws, from which it gets its name. It is known to be a highly derived theropod dinosaur that adapted to become a large herbivorous browser. The unusually elongated hand claws of Therizinosaurus, which are amongst the largest of any vertebrate known to man, proved incredibly useful at aiding in this lifestyle of browsing because they used them to cut down branches and pull vegetation within their reach. They also proved to be formidable weapons and were more than capable tools that Therizinosaurus used to defend itself against predators such as raptors and the Tyrannosaurid Tarbosaurus. As always, have a wonderful day to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals.